Good morning, everybody. I pray that all is well. So, this morning I want to come and talk about the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, but not just from my perspective, but from one of my clients' perspectives. So, if you guys don't know what I do, I develop confident traders. So, I help people or traders who want to connect to this market, who want a deeper understanding of the market without all of the hard definitions, the complexities of their systems. I basically teach them how to basically scale in and focus on the most important parts of the price charts. Just using simple supply and demand technique, just one technique. And I help to connect them to where price is going, where they can enter the trade, and where they can exit the trade, but to also basically assess what it is that they're articulating that when they see what's on the chart, and we speak those things out, because sometimes I've learned that traders who just hold things in, like you see what's on the charts but you're not speaking it out loud, like you can have one of the hardest times trading. So I'm going to share one of my clients charts, and this is from a couple weeks ago, actually last week or so ago, and he was analyzing the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. And he said, "Hey, Shaquan, this is my chart. It's really clean chart, as you guys can see. It's really simple." And basically, he was wanting to see if price could go back up to his previous higher high at 1.111115 or 1115. Okay, so say, okay, cool. Now, I want to talk about the process that I take traders through when we work together one on one. It's just not one on one, it's actually 6 weeks. So it's an hour a week where we're doing work together and they're analyzing together, or we're analyzing trades together. But not only that, we just go through a process of one connection, because I've learned that so many traders just, or people just hop on the charts and they're learning, but they don't connect to what it actually is that they do in the market. They're not connecting the dots to the strategy. They're just being told, put this on the chart, plot this here, buy this here, sell this here. But the question is, why? Why am I using this particular thing, and what does it mean? Not the version that you gave me, but the version that I can understand. So if I had to speak it out loud, I can do it. And I can understand why and how I'm doing it. And that's what we go through. So we build connection first. The second thing that we do is I put them in the driver's seat from the very beginning, the very first session. You have to make your own decisions. If you're taking signals, or if you are not only just taking signals, but you're just being put in the room and you're saying, hey, learn and watch these videos, and then we analyze the charts together, you're going to have a lot of questions after you watch the videos. But then if you're just analyzing charts with the coach or other people, you're still technically not taking trades for yourself. What you're doing is you're just going along with the crowd or with what someone told you to do. And so when it comes time for you making your own decision outside of that group or outside of that coach, you're stuck. And my job is to put you in the driver's seat so you become unstuck the very first session, and you can get confidence in saying, oh, I can make my own trading decisions. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm thinking. I know how it looks when I see this. I see the most important candlesticks. Got it. And then we go through assessing the reward and the risk. And this is what analysis is. We're going through what I call 3 stages of risk management. And let's go through the first one together. So he sent me his chart. It's clean and it's simple. And to some people, it may not be enough. But what I tell people is the most simple charts that you can actually when you plot a simple chart, when you have something that's not overcrowded, when you can see the flow of price, that's what you want to trade. So y'all walk through the flow of price with me. If I were to ask you what is the trend, what could you say? Now, if you say that price is in an uptrend, you are absolutely correct. But it has to be more than what is the trend. It has to be more than an uptrend. It has to be a connection. How do we get there? We plot things on the chart to support what you just said or what you thought. And so we plot these simple tools here. We apply price note tools. We have higher highs and higher lows, but not just higher highs and higher lows, but look at your numbers. Look at these exchange rates. 1.09980, 1.80244, 1.1133. What does this mean? What this means is that your exchange rates are increasing. So there are people who live in New Zealand who are buying the Australian dollar at higher exchange rates as price continues to move up. So when we talk about supply and demand, the demand is the people who are buying the Australian dollar who live in New Zealand. They keep buying the Australian dollar at a higher price. We're just here to trade that information as price continues to increase. That is the connection that we make. And so now what this goes into is we're going to assess the risk to reward. So he assessed the risk to reward here, ended up entering the trade somewhere here on one of these candlesticks. And if I'm correct, I believe it was this candlestick here. Now he could have gotten a better entry, but by the time he looked at the trade, price was already here. And so, he's, assessing, okay, well, what is my risk to reward? And then whenever he put his take profit at. And if he didn't have a one-to-one, then there is a way that I teach people on how to get more than a one-to-one. So on this trade here, he would have had to use a Fibonacci so price could go higher so he could get more than a one-to-one. So now he's assessing, what is my reward if I take this trade? And that's where we get the risk to reward from. But what is the risk or the cost of doing business? Well, price goes opposite and probably makes a new lower low and you're out of the trade. But we don't stop there. But this has been a winning trade for him so far. He's either still in profit or has taken profit, one of those two. Okay. And now what he's doing, or what he did, was he became the trader. He's and this is, I think this is the most important part. There comes a time when, and I tell traders this, I teach them this. Once you learn, you have to become, you have to you have to walk through the actions and the steps that you just learned. And so we go through that process by creating a watch list. I am not here to tell people what to trade, right? Because what you may trade, someone else may not. It may not work for them. So, what is your individuality as a trader? Meaning, do you like fast currency pairs that move from 1 cent to the next, or $1 to the next, or 1 yen to the next really quickly? Or do you like to be able to breathe through your trades and assess currency pairs that move a little bit slower? Maybe they're moving 100 pips within 2 to 3 days or 2 to 4 days. But not only that, with your watch list creation, is also talking about the time frames that you trading. Are you monthly, weekly, daily? Are you daily 4 hour? Are you weekly, daily 4 hours? So now we're going through that process of what are the best time frames for you to enter and for you to assess and analyze, and how does that look, right? And then we're going through analyzing those setups together. And this is the most important part. The trader has to, like, as the individual, this is what he did. He had to enter the trades. Not me telling him when to enter, not me telling him what candlestick to enter on, but he had to be in the position. And so now we're going through his watch list. And as the market moves, and I'm watching it too, my thought is, did he enter the trade or did he not enter the trade? Why did he enter? Why did he not enter? And then we go from there. And then we tweak along those lines, and then we update charts after the movement. So now that price has moved higher, his job is not to erase everything, but to update this chart. And an example would be, well, now we have a new higher low. That's it. And what we do is, now we're going to govern, okay, well, what does this mean? And I know he's going to watch this video, so I kind of don't want to give it away, but I'm going to give it away anyway, because I know he has to do this with his other currency pairs. But basically, now that price has gone higher, what does this validate? What does this mean? It just basically means that AUD New Zealand dollar, the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, the price of one Australian dollar is still increasing. It just went from $1.09 to $1.11. That's over 2 cents increase. If we really look at it, that's over 200 pip increase. Okay. And so now his goal as a trader, his job is to say, but where is my next buy going to come from? And that is what he now has to analyze. So now he's going to practice patience to enter into the next trade. And as coach, I am there to govern that decision making because I've already taught him the 3-step strategy. It's a 3 yes system. He needs 3 yeses before he can decide to enter the trade. And he got 3 yeses and he was able to enter the trade. Okay. And so that is the power of having a coach, someone who looks from the outside in to develop you, to guide you, to coach you, to mentor you. And I know sometimes people look at it and say, well, I can learn it on my own. But there are so many people who have tried to learn their own. There are so many of you who maybe you bought courses and you've been in groups and you've been in programs, but it's not worked. And you've even tried doing it for yourself, but you still feel stuck. And if that is you, I can tell you there's a few things that's missing. One is a connection. You've yet to connect to what you trade. Two, you have to believe that you have a good trading system. You have to believe that it will work out for your good. And you can't focus on the losses. One thing that I've learned in trading is that sometimes you'll focus so much on your losses, the winners will run away. And I know that to be true. That still happens to me too. It still happens. But when you have someone who's on the outside looking in who can see, oh, if you tweak this one thing, if you start from here, if you do this, if you take away this, it doesn't have to be a lot. But if you have that person who can see for you, it can become better. A person who allows you to make your own decisions so you can see when the good happens and you can see when the not so good happens. But you still have to believe that it will work out for your good eventually. You got to see the trade as good before you take it. Okay. So I am praying that looking upon this and looking at this has helped you to understand what it takes to develop into a confident trader, what it takes to really put the system together, and what it takes to walk through a setup. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, let me know below, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.